Life is a vapor. Nothing more than a raindrop into a sea that's deeper than we can see. But see me, I was never taught to swim.
Hello and welcome to There's a Beautiful Me. I'm your host, Crystal Davis. Welcome to the show. We are in season 2 and this is episode 7. I have a special treat today and I have some news as well. But before I get started, I would like to say that this is an inspirational talk show geared towards young women, youth, really anybody that's seeking inspiration, positivity, wanting to see different changes in their life, in their lifestyle, or other people who have been through things and are wanting to share their stories with you. So we're doing everything from beauty, from the inside out, health and fitness, your overall spiritual wellness. And before I get started with the show, I like to do a devotional to start off. And today's devotional is going to be about spiritual success. And I got this from Tony Evans. He is on KHCB 8:30 a.m. on 105.7. So please tune in because he has some very inspirational, uplifting topics on everything, and it helps me, and I'm pretty sure it can help you. I posted about this about a month ago, and I just wanted to tap on it because it's so predominant and so serious on what it means to be successful. Everybody has their idea of success. So this passage came from Joshua 1 verses 1 through 8. So if you have your Bible, please go to those verses because the synopsis, I'm just going to give you a rundown about the passage that I'm going to be referring to, and then we'll go into details after. So in that scripture, basically, he talks about the promised land, right? Because, the Israelites wandered for 40 years and Moses actually didn't get to the promised land. He died before that. But Joshua was their leader and he led the Israelites into the promised land. But before that, God told Joshua, hey, listen to my words, listen to what I have for you, and abide by these, and you will be successful. Don't detour, don't go away. He said, I will never leave you. He said, I won't forsake you. He's like, and no man can come up against you, because God is in control. So that was his instructions to Joshua before he led the Israelites into the promised land. Verses 7 and 8 are really the main predominant verses that talk about him not forsaking Joshua. I wanted to talk about that because it's very interesting, because it's like God saying, all I'm asking you to do is follow the path that I've laid out for you, right? So we all have our understandings of what we want and what we want to do and how we're going to do it, right? But then something always happens, something comes up, things stop, you start something, stop something. It's just a mess, right? So how do we figure out what are we supposed to do after that, right? That always has been a question for myself. I've been in situations where I've started something and then stopped and didn't get to finish it, but then I realized it was something else that God had for me. So you have to think about those things as well. The other point that he made was that no one can stop you. See, now this is funny because this shows how God works. Basically, if you have something good that's going right, and you don't know exactly how you're going to get to that next level or what your next goal or step is going to be, God has a way of removing people. I'm pretty sure some of y'all have had that happen, or he'll place people for just that moment and then that's it. You just have that person and, y'all do what you need to do and it's it. They may have helped you get somewhere, but then they end up leaving, but you're there. So it's different situations to look at this passage, because when he says no one can stop you, that just shows how powerful God is and what he can do. And he's basically telling you, do what I say and I'll make sure you get there. And the next thing he says is, you will not fail and I won't forsake you. So when we think about different situations that we want to tap into, how is it that we are handling those things? Are we basically taking things into consideration, or are we just kind of going on a limb? It's like we get nervous and tend to just react. And we don't need to react. Sometimes we just need to wait. Sometimes we just need to be patient, because he's going to be able to do everything that he can for us. 2 more points. Next one is, don't mimic what others are doing around you. That is a big deal, because right now we have social media And all on social media, you see people who are doing things, who are going to the next place, who are all over the world, you know, you name it. And you're like, man, why can't I do that? Like, what do I need to do that? You know, okay, this person did this, X, Y, Z. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that and make sure that I can get to that same way that they did. No. God had a plan for that person specifically. That was the path he chose for them. If he has you waiting for something, you know, for a certain amount of time, you need to wait. Don't rush God. Basically, do not rush him. And don't look at others, but rather, and this is what Tony Evans says, he said, rather look at it as an uplifter, as an encourager, that you can have the same thing. Ever think about that? It's like, okay, God did it for them. I'm pretty sure he can do it for me. So think about those things. You see your friends succeeding, don't get upset, don't get jealous. Oh, jealousy is such a drag. Like, do not get jealous because it's just wasting your own time. You know, do what you need to do, follow what God says, and he'll be able to get you through it. So keep that in mind. That is your devotion for today. I have some wonderful news. Our news host, Anna B. Reyes, she has been given an opportunity to actually go and be a news anchor reporter. She is no longer with us. I know it's so sad. I'm sad too. But it's exciting because that's another testimony. He did it for her. She worked other places. She was on the show, and now she's doing an anchor reporting job, and that's what she wanted. And she was patient. You got to think about that. But I'm excited to share some news with you. Stay tuned. Hey, okay, I'm here with your news update, and guess what? One of the largest athletic wear companies is going green. Yes, going green. Adidas plans to make products that have never been thrown away. The company announced its new Sport Infinity project yesterday and will be using scraps and old cleats to make new cleats. The aim is to eliminate waste while still giving customers the gear that they want. That's all I have for your news update. Stay tuned for today's show. Coming up next, I have a special guest. He's an author, a motivational speaker, a poet, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, and he is the CEO of the Writer's Block. I want you all to stay tuned for Mr. AJ McQueen. Hello and welcome back to There is a Beautiful Me. I'm your host, Crystal Davis. And as I said before, I had a special guest in the studio today, Mr. AJ McQueen. He is here, and I'm very excited. And I was telling him earlier that I've been looking forward to this, and it's taken forever, but I finally have him. So, AJ, welcome to the show. And oh, it's good. Thank you. How about you?
I'm good. I'm great. You know, just got back from Washington, so I'm pretty
and
excited.
Motivated.
So,
I definitely look, and we're gonna get into that because I definitely want to know about that trip. But first, I kind of want to just touch base. I know you've probably said it before a million times, and then I know from St. Louis, we have a little connection. I wasn't raised there, but I was born there,
okay.
So I was like, oh, that's so cool,
Okay, cool.
So we have a little connection. But can you tell us about being there and just in a summary, just the lifestyle and just, you know, how you grew up?
You know, born and raised in St. Louis. You know, St. Louis is literally, it's a great place, don't get me wrong. Great place, great people. But the environment and the things that it has to offer is very minimum. So you have to kind of go out and get in survival mode. So just growing up, you know, I was in survival mode, and I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. You know, I've experienced a lot of different things. When I was younger, I joined the gang. You know, I got active in the gang at a young age. You know, because that's the family. That's kind of the social dynamic of inner city St. Louis. And you know, I got shot when I was 15. And so, you know, just having that, and that's just being a piece of it. But literally on those streets is where I've learned survival, and where I learned, you know, what odds look like. Before I ever knew anything else, I knew that, you know, this inner city lifestyle is what made me, you know, to be who I am. So, but it's definitely no place to raise a young man.
And so when you said it was like a whole different lifestyle. What made you change? Like, what made you just like, what did it click in your head?
Yeah. Well, I came to Houston for the summer before I actually came to live. I came for the summer because I was in a lot of trouble and I needed to get away. And I was young, and I went to my mom. I'm like, Mom, I'm in some bad stuff right now. And so and at a young age, my mom used to always tell me that I've always had a level of maturity that was like abnormal because I was always before my time, as she said. So I came to her like as an adult. I'm like, Mom, look, I need to get away. And so she had made a call, and actually we knew somebody in Houston, and so she sent me to them, not knowing what the reasoning. I just told her I need to get away for the summer because in St. Louis, the summer is where a lot of the murder rate goes up because that's where if you're in a gang, you try to get your stats up. So you have to go shoot, fight, kill, whatever you got to do to get your rep up. So I knew that I had done some things that I probably wouldn't live. I just had this feeling like, man, I'm probably not going to live throughout the summer. So I went to Houston for a couple weeks, and the people that I went with, they were Christians, and they read the Bible, they went to church, they wanted me to pull my pants up, I mean, it was just the atmosphere of something I've never, so I was like, man, I cannot do this, because I was very disrespectful. I mean, and the family loved me, but I just could not get with it. So I went to the lady at the house, and I was like, hey, I'm leaving. I called my mom and said, Mom, look, I'm coming back home. I can't do all this Christian stuff. The lady came to me, and she was like, the day I was leaving, I had my bags in my hand. She said, don't go, don't go. And she was crying real bad. She said, don't go. I had a dream that you knocked on my door and that you had bullet holes all in your back. And that you opened the door and you fell on your knees and you died. And I was like, man, I don't believe in all that, crazy stuff or whatever. So went home. A couple days later, I got shot. And so, that it was a combination of things where that God got my attention. It was the prophecy, and then through the fulfilling of the prophecy, and the way that the bullets came, I really should have. I mean, the bullets should have been all in my back because I turned around and tried to run. And I only got hit a couple times. So, and so my mom, I was in the hospital, and I was in there by myself. And mind you, I'm young. So
you said 15.
So I'm experiencing some crazy stuff. So I'm in the hospital, and my mom was like, okay, you're going back, and you're staying, And I didn't understand it at first. I didn't get it. But that family took me back in, and I met God through his love, through the love of Christ.
Such a blessing.
Yeah, so... And that's why I'm the way
Wow.
so,
That's like touching me right now. I got like chills because I'm just like, that is so much. And that's why, and it's really important. And that's why I wanted to bring AJ on the show for you youth out there, because his story is amazing. And I feel like everybody should know about it. And you all can take it into consideration. Think about your own life and what choices you're making, because he could have went a whole different route. And was this family somebody that you said you didn't know them, or y'all
actually,
knew them?
When I was like 8, we moved to Houston for 2 years. So, and I was enrolled into an intermediate school. And in the intermediate school, for the 2 years, I had one friend, and it was the son, of the family. So, that's the only person I knew, outside of St. Louis. And so that was the first person that came into mind. And I didn't know, I mean, mind you, I wasn't the same person that I was when I was 8 through 10. I'm a teenager now, and I'm gang banging and sagging. I'm a whole different person. But they, even when I got off the airplane, they saw me, and it was like, they knew this wasn't gonna be easy, but they still took me in, and attempted to, not attempted, but they gave me love, and I'm forever grateful, for them. So,
man, that is like so powerful. It speaks so many volumes. But can you talk about your career, like when you started developing like your passion for, even with poetry, because we'll go into that too, but just with everything, because you've done so much, it's endless things, but I want you to say.
When I was 19, I was invited to BET 106 in Park, and I was invited to speak about teen violence. So I was pretty much sharing the same story I'm telling you now, on BET, and that was really the start of everything that I've been doing. I'm the last person they ever said do anything positive. Like the school wrote me off because of my disciplinary actions, and a lot of people gave up on me, but God didn't, and He put people in life who didn't. So I was able to do BET. I've received the Service Achievement Award from President Barack Obama, congressional recognition from Congress. I've always been one to express. I'm all about expression,
Right.
you know. So it's just through my organic expression that I'm able, that God is prepared a seat for me at certain places. So and I write books, you know. I write books,
Right.
and I have a company. The company's called Writer's Block, and so we pretty much go inside schools, communities, and you know, we exemplify leadership through the arts, you know.
Right.
So been able to do a lot of different things. I mean, I don't know, you know, it's I can say a lot, but you know,
Yeah.
one of the main things that I would love to express is activism. You know, that's one
Right.
thing that I'm very I take pride in, as far as being involved in
The
community and
community,
outreach,
yes.
because you know, you never really live until you've done something for somebody who can't do nothing back for you. You know,
Oh,
and
that
so
was deep.
that's what I'm about. I'm about
That was
going out
deep.
and being an example. Not just talking about it, but you
Being
know,
about it.
being
Right.
doing whatever, and then the accolades come with it. But my goal is never to seek after an accolade. You know,
Right.
I plan to leave a legacy. You know, that's and build something that's bigger than me.
Mhm.
You know, and again, through the talents and stuff, I like to inspire youth that you don't just have to be this or be that. You can do other things.
Right.
You know, I've seen people in the hood sell drugs and all this. I've never seen somebody sell a book. So I aspire to go in the hood and sell books, just so one young person can see, man, I can
Right.
be an author. So, you know, I've done a lot of things, and like I say, the BET experience really shed light onto who I am, because I was still
Right.
young, but that I've received thousands of messages from youth and from kids and families and
All
stuff
over.
from all over the country. You know, people who watched the interview and they was like, man, I want to do that. You know, I had parents
Yes.
reach out to me. My son was watching that, and he don't want to gangbang no more and stuff. You
Mhm.
know, so
Wow.
it's a lot. You know,
Very
I've done a
impactful.
lot of things. So.
Right. And then you just recently were in DC.
Yeah.
So please share that
Yeah,
because it's
that was crazy. DC,
yeah.
that was a crazy experience. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and you know, I was able to see Minister Louis Farrakhan and just hear an impact. But the crazy thing is, it was people from all over the country. No
Right.
fighting, no shooting, no nothing, just peace and harmony. You know,
Exactly.
and it motivated me to continue to do what I've been doing. You know, for some people that started their passion, you know, for outreach, but mine,
Right.
that more so affirmed me, you know, to just continue and take it to another
Doing
level,
what
you
you're
know.
doing.
And as a Christian, I'm able to take in certain things a certain way and internalize it, you know, to continue to give God glory through what I'm doing. But it was an amazing experience,
Yes.
I probably will write a book about it sometime, because it's hard to put
Please
in
do.
words. It's hard to put in
Put in
words,
everything right.
but it was amazing. It was
Right.
amazing.
And I do want to ask, this is something I was thinking about. What do you see, like, as far as for our youth? What would you share with them with everything that's happening? You know, we have the police brutality and just so many things have changed from even when I grew up, and I'm not that old, but, and I'm pretty sure, like, from you, but it's like a whole different world. What would you give to those youth?
Well, one, I would say that, you know, um, life is a combination of states. It's a process of becoming. So, you know, the thing is, we get stuck in one state and we remain in this state. And what I mean is by the state of mind.
Mind,
Like,
right.
you're going to go through different states of mind. This is another state of mind, because as we see, history has repeated itself. You know, the same things that we have going on, it happened in the 90s, it happened in the 80s, it happened in the 70s, 60s. So, but if we get stuck in that state of mind, then there's no growth. There's things we're supposed to take from each state,
Right.
but we're not supposed to remain in it. And so I think that if we get so focused on the issues of life, then we forget what life is in itself. You know, this life is not supposed to last. You know, it's not supposed to. You know, we're not supposed to have an amazing life experience here. Actually, what's supposed to happen is we're supposed to grow through
Grow
different
from
things.
it,
So I
right.
think that the way that life is presented to youth is wrong. You know, and so where they start expecting different things, like, man, this life is, oh, this is happening, that's happening. It's like, man, this is not what I thought. Well, but who told you how it was? Because at the end of the
Right,
day,
originally.
nobody's. I like to be honest, you know, with people and
Right.
help them understand. And I feel like even with a lot of the police brutality and things that's dealing with our people, you know, there's a difference from. I'm about justice for all. I've
Right.
always been justice. You know, I'm painted a lot of times as, black supremacists and all these other type of things. But people, if they really know me, know that I'm pro-black, but I'm not anti anything.
Right.
And what I mean by that is when it comes down to the youth, they don't really know how to respond. But the social climate is bad. And so because of the social climate, we have people attempting to operate in a bad social climate. So we have to deal with the social issues. There's shooting, fighting, killing, police brutality. A lot of people don't understand these are social issues. Social issues is the first layer. Then you go deeper, it's a heart issue. But socially, we haven't learned how to respond to it socially and be effective at it. So with the youth, one, I give them an honest approach, and honestly, depending on who you are, where you come from, the odds are against you. But the odds being against you, nobody owes you anything, nothing. If you're in this country and still waiting on a check, then it's not happening. You have to go out there and get it. I come from a horrible place. I come from a place with no handouts. I come from a place where there's death on all corners. I come from where me and my mom used to sleep in the car. I used to wear her shoes to school because whenever my shoes fell apart, we couldn't give me none. I had to wear hers. So I didn't come from privilege. I didn't come from a good family structure, but I'm not living with that on me. It's a sense of, man, this is why I'm entitled. This is why I deserve X, Y, Z, because this is what I went through. If you continue to live like that, you're never going to get appreciated until somebody pays you what you think they owe you. Nobody owes you anything, And when you get that off your shoulder, then you'll understand that you got to get it. You got to wake up every day and go get it.
Yes, I was gonna say.
I didn't go to, when I graduated high school. I didn't even graduate. I didn't walk across the stage. I had to go buy my diploma because I couldn't pass one tax test, which is the math one,
Right.
But I had all my credits, but I just couldn't. In my mind, I just couldn't pass the math, so I had to go buy it, and then I didn't walk across the stage. And so, to a normal person, that would mean all these things happening. And it would make me believe, man, I'm dumb, I'm inadequate, I'm a failure. All these different things.
Right, so much that could come into mind.
Yeah.
But you have to look past.
And I don't get me wrong, I went through that state of mind. But I broke it off. And it was God that really showed me, because I'm not inadequate. It's for nothing, I just didn't apply myself.
Right.
And so I was like, man, if I ain't finished high school, what would make me think I can go to college? I went to college for myself, and this shows me that education is not just academics. Education is knowing, is knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's a lot, but that's my main saying, or my main. The thing I want to leave to the youth is to help them understand that, one, nobody owes us anything, nothing at all. We millennials, and the thing about millennials now is that this is the most courageous time that we're in.
Yes.
But if you continue to live like somebody owes you, then you're going to be let down every time.
Yeah.
Because they're not paying it. They're not giving it. So you have to go out and get it. The man is not keeping us down. None of that's happening.
Right.
I used to think like that. I used to man, they don't want us to know this. They don't want us to know that. Then I picked up a book and I'm like, it's in her.
And it's like you can find it out for yourself.
Yeah, I was like, it's in her. It's so. It's all that everywhere. Stuff is just, again, is misplaced passion. What hip hop, what Black America, what America in general presents is that there's a secret key. There's a secret to life that you cannot get. Only we can get. Right. I beg to differ. Because I'm coming. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going after it too. I was just telling you, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going because I know it's so much more. It's like when you just apply, so you just put your mind to it and don't listen to what other people say. Because that is one thing that I noticed, just like with youth in general, when I've talked with them, is it's so many different things. Like they see all these celebrities and all these models and just, reality TV, and it's like they want that. And it's like, you can be something so much more, than what you see out there just on networks. But I do appreciate you coming out and sharing everything. Like like I'm just like blown for words right now because yeah, because I'm really like thinking, yes.
When I get excited, I go.
Oh yeah, so. No, I appreciate it because somebody else is gonna see this and they're gonna appreciate it just as much as I am. And we have AJ closing out with a poem, so please stay tuned. Be sure to follow me on social media. I am on Facebook at There Is a Beautiful Me like page. My website is www.proverbsbeauty.org. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Proverbs Beauty. And if you would like to be a part of the show, please contact me via my website or you can email me at proverbsbeauty31@gmail.com.
Life is a vapor. Nothing more than a raindrop into a sea that's deeper than we can see. But see me, I was never taught to swim. I was taught to keep all my thoughts above the rim. And to this day, I still rep my city above my brim, but with grim. Because as evil seeps deeper and we sleep deeper, we lose sight of that grim reaper. Each day the value of a child's life gets cheaper, but we pay no mind till that grim reaper hit our beeper. And it's at that stage we begin to engage. But if you grab that good book, flip back a page when you were enraged, you'll see that God was trying to reach you, but you ignored that page because you forgot that y'all were engaged. And other things that we are engaged in has acting like caged men. If you grab that good book, flip back to page 10, you will see we were once great men. But now instead of acting like brave men, we conduct ourselves like cavemen. In the history I'm talking about, you won't find by taking a look into their history book because they took it out and they replaced it with fables at a round table. They did whatever they could to keep us disabled by any means. They won't tell you that before we were slaves, we were once kings and queens. And right now it's time for history to repeat itself. Now I'm not telling you to put that history book on the shelf, but I am telling you don't you read that without reading nothing else. I mean, you do it for yourself. If you ain't gonna do it for you, do it for ones who come after you. Because the children should not be deprived, because we did not tell them that God made us gods, creators. That's why you gotta watch you crave with your tongue, because today we are still being hung by each other. I'm trying to start a revolution. And let this revolution be televised. Let's let the world know we will not be deprived of our pride or of our rights. I'm not talking about the Bill of Rights, I'm talking about the rights of life, the right to be fruitful, the right to do right, the right to love, the right to do right, the right to teach, the right to do right, the right to preach, the right to do right, the right to reach, the right to do right, the right to read, the right to write, right. We gotta remind each other of the Genesis before the Revelation, because life is just a vapor. Peace.